Welcome back. This is part 2. If you haven't seen part 1, there'll be links on it later on, towards the end. But essentially, if you have seen that, you will know that the plan was to do a 3-day, 3-night backcountry camping trip around a big loop that goes around a mountain base. And unfortunately, on day 1, my youngest son Jack had an issue with a blister that was beginning, and we were concerned about it turning into something a bit more serious, and we were maybe stuck at the absolute opposite longest piece of the trail. So we thought about it, we talked to some of the other groups that were there, and everyone kind of felt the same, that probably best to pack out than risk getting that rubbed raw, particularly with a new, like I said, we were all fairly inexperienced backcountry campers, having never done it before. And so we listened to them. We came out, which turned out to be a good decision because the blister had doubled in size by the end of kind of getting back to the vehicle. So we went home, dropped him off, and then Andrew and I, hey Andrew, pulled ourselves out of bed, and we're going back out on the trail. It's going to be another in and out, but what's happening is this is the site that we would have gotten to today. So we thought we might as well make use of the permit we bought. We'll see part of that portion of the trail and make good use of it. So we're going to see what happens today. I guess for anybody interested in fishing, here's some of what you might find in these riverways here. A bunch of different sorts of trout. And there's like grayling and whitefish. So you may remember this from video 1. On day 1 we were going to come from here to here, which is what we did. Then we were going to get up and go down here. But instead what ended up happening is we came back out, drove away, dropped off Jack, stayed at home for the night, we've come back, and now we're going to follow this trail down to this campground, and then we'll come back out tomorrow. So the bit we didn't get to do this time is sort of here, but it isn't going anywhere. We're getting close to 2.7 kilometers in, and just to give you a sense of what you might expect, this essential vista that you are seeing, or lack thereof, this kind of corridor of predominantly pine trees, is essentially what it's been like up until now. So quite different to the other side. We have had a lot more sweeping kind of vistas and viewpoints. So I guess we'll see if any of those choose to gift us as we continue, and I'll certainly capture those if they do. All right, Andrew, I think that as we round this corner, we're going to get a sweeping vista of the mountains. That's what I think. What do you think?
Sure.
We're going to go with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Fingers crossed. can tell you're all as excited as we are to find out. Sweeping vistas, maybe. Oh, kinda. It's opened up a bit. I think you're gonna be right. Okay, let's keep this going so you can kind of experience it as we experience it. See a woodpecker. Well, let's see. It's probably a bit too hard to see on the camera, but we'll try for you. There you go. Well, we maybe caught it doing its thing. Wow, look at that. We've definitely got some opening up. Those mountain ranges in the view. Awesome. So I came across this lost wounded traveler on my journeys. Now bear in mind, he has done, what, 20, I don't know, coming up for 30 kilometers of trekking in the last couple of days here, so, you know, give him credit. How you feeling, Andrew? Maybe we shouldn't wake him. He's just going to camp here. No, we're not collecting water, but soaking the tilly hat. When you stick it on your head, it cools you off and you get a little trickle of icy water down your back. We'll call that invigorating. How's that feel, Andrew? Pretty good? Now I would like to firmly say, this is the money shot. This is your reward when you get about 8 kilometers from the trailhead. So this is I guess where it used to be the river. I have no idea if it still ever gets water in it. I'm guessing no by the looks of things. I would have gone down there. The river, we can hear it from here, is basically at the end of that. I'm guessing it just dried out, or the river changed course for one reason or another. But we're heading off basically directly below that mountain peak, more or less is where the campground is. In that direction, I mean. Any of you viewers able to tell me what this is? Almost looks like two different plants, but I think it's the same thing. The bit in the middle kind of looks like a succulent to me. It's kind of cool. Okay, so I was just looking around, and if any of you have seen The Karate Kid, you probably know about bonsai trees, right? Oh, little mini trees. These two little pines right here look like nature's handmade bonsai trees to me. Look at that, that looks like a full tree and it's teeny. And there's a little buddy right there. Isn't that cool? Well, I hope you've saved some energy when you get to this point. So we're a little over 9 kilometers now. And we both kind of heaved a little sigh of, oh no, when we came around the corner and saw this. Like everything's a bit hard on camera to appreciate, but this is a bit of an uphill grind. And I had read that you do get one last uphill grind before you hit the campsite. But on the flip side, we can go, this is the one. And then we're there. Here we go, the turning into Big Elbow. If we carried on up there, that would have been Tombstone at the other far end, another 11 or so kilometers that way, which we will save for maybe next season. So there's where we're at. You see the marker? We came through here. Oh, hot day, hey buddy? Glad to be here? Huh? Glad to be here? Good man, you've done awesome. Alright, let's go find a spot. This particular campground does not have sort of obvious designated put your tent here like the last one did. This is more of a, here's your table and your fire pit, put it wherever you want roughly. To give you an idea of what I brought with me for food. So this was enough for today, so I'm going to have one of these lentil soups. Plus that, a little gluten-free bun, because that's me. For lunch, I'm going to have that in a minute. And over here is what I'll have for dinner. This can of chili with the rice and quinoa. Mix that together, warm it up. Breakfast is this, just some quick oats, and we've got raisins and walnuts in there. And then for lunch, I'm just going to have the same thing I'm having today on the way back out. And then the all-important bag of coffee for the morning. So yeah, that's the food I bring. And I've got a Lara bar and coffee stick in here as a snack if I don't need anything. And so here is our more or less set up campsite. Some artfully placed hiking poles there. Got our camping gear. Grab the bear spray. Over here is the little nicely decorated path that takes us down, out and through to that pretty amazing vista. So Andrew wants to use the Sawyer mini straw sort of thing, so you can actually just stick this right on the end and suck out of a water source if you needed to. Just make sure you got the right bit on the right end. Don't fall in. Just like that. How's that? Is it working? Does it taste good? Not bad? So we both just tried that, as you saw Andrew doing, and we came to the conclusion, if you've ever had one before, that it reminds you of sort of sucking a thick shake at McDonald's when they were really thick and you really had to suck hard to get anything through the straw. That's kind of how that felt. So I'm going to use it as a drip mechanism. It's a lot easier, but if you ever needed it, I'd be damn glad I had that in my pocket. Okay, so I'm going to show you how this thing works. This is my sleeping mat that you would have seen in the first video, fully done, from Gear Doctors. It's the Apollo Air, and this bag is big enough to fit the entire mattress and the pillow inside. Pillow's separate purchase, but give you an idea of scope, I've got a size 13 foot, and the bag is essentially the size of my foot. So it's very compact. Okay, now I'm going to show you how you pump the thing up. So this bag comes in the kit, and I believe it can act as like a stuff pouch. It's got the roll top thing at the top. But what's clever about it is the attachment. So this just attaches into here. Andrew, if you wouldn't mind holding that. And then what we do is we just sort of let the air go in, scrunch it up, slowly roll it down. You can see it's getting full. And just not too much pressure. Ever so slowly roll it down. It's got a very distinctive squeal. And you might think this would take a while. Whilst I'm not going to bore you with the whole video, we'll film the whole thing, but I'm going to speed it up in a minute. But just so you can see exactly how many of these rolls it takes to do it. So then you just pull that back out, stays up, you see that. And if you really wanted, and it comes with it, there are these little pins that you could just pop into the flaps there, that they come with the kit, and just release the air if you're over inflated it for your liking. And it goes down. We're done. I think that was about maybe 5 minutes, which I don't find to be too bad. There we go. Thanks. So here, for scale again, is now the pillow piece, which can actually easily fit in this bag with the mattress. It's nice they have a slightly more generous bag, so you're not fighting to get it back in. I appreciate that. Sometimes you forget you have someone who can help you film, and you're so used to being out doing these by myself. So here's the pillow. In theory, this is the smoother side you put your head on. It's got sort of bubbly side, I guess, to help grip on that, which I can't say I find really does that. But what is nice is this strap. So once it's done up, and I'll show you, this just straps around your air mattress and stops it falling off, and that does work quite well. But it's the same mechanism. You got that, you get your little airbag thing, put it in, And this takes no time. I think maybe 2 of these is enough, maybe 3, I forget. It doesn't take long. So there's one, it's already fairly firm. You can again set it to what you like. Then they come with those little plastic pins so you can fine tune it. Yeah, I think that's good. So that was like 1 and a bit. And if you follow me down to the end, I'll just show you how it goes on. So you get the strap, pretty obvious really, you just get that on, strap it on like that, and that way it just kind of helps stops it moving off when you're sleeping. I think it's a pretty neat kit. Go look them up, I found them on Amazon. Pretty awesome. I've used it, this will be my 3rd night using it now. And I'm pretty impressed with it. They don't go down. They're, I find it comfy. It is fairly narrow, but that's sort of the sacrifice you make for having lightweight, small gear. And yeah, I'm impressed with it so far. So Andrew here just came up with a clever little thing I never would have thought about. He's got his pillow. Because these are actually just a little button snap, they're detachable. He unattached it, used an old t-shirt here, stuffed it in, reattached it through the kind of the bottom and the neck. And now he has kind of like a pillowcase. So if you want a pillowcase, you can do something like that. So this is what happens when you put one of those kind of flavored water enhancer things in your bottle. Even though there hasn't been any in there for a while, there's still enough fragrance, I guess, to attract all those little beauties. Lovely. Not sure what this was supposed to be. Someone took the time to make a neat little installation of some sort. Complete with mosaic roads. How's that for some hat hair? Pretty awesome. I might wear it back in civilization. So for today's dinner, Andrew is going to be having essentially a version of macaroni and cheese. So we're just getting the water ready. And as I showed you before, I'm going with my vegan chili and rice thing. So again, we're using the firebox stove, but we're taking the easy way out and using a Trangia stove inside it, which is actually really quite convenient. But it's nice to have the option of burning wood if you happen to run out of fuel or don't bring any with you. Well, still on the first fill up of that, of the Trangia. So we're able to bring it to a boil and get the pasta in. It'll be interesting to see if it needs topping up with more fuel before it's cooked, or if we can get through a full cook session. I think I'm going to have to top it up for mine, but that's not the end of the world. Here you can actually maybe hear and see that I'm not even on the thing, holding it up. It's still getting the heat going quite nicely. There's no real water in here, so you've got to stir it quite a lot. Oops. Stop it from burning. I think I will put the Trangia stove a bit lower, one of those lower rungs, if I'm doing something like this in future. That's how we live and learn. It's all good. So, ready for a little bit of a freaky sight? Ooh, look at those flies. Thankfully they're on that side of the tent, so to speak. Good grief. So this is the view of what I showed you earlier from inside the tent. Thankfully they're all on the other side of the fly sheets. Excuse me. I've got a fly in my throat. I'm joking. I don't know if you can hear it on the camera. I'll have to wait till I get back. But if so, it almost sounds like rain, which is kind of nice in a tent, so it's not so bad. So, although I've taken a few shots of this for you, what we just found out was this particular river feeds all the way into Glenmore Reservoir, which is essentially the main drinking water source for Calgary. Now you can boat on it and all the rest of it, kayak and that kind of thing. But that's essentially where they store all the water. It's kind of cool. Now it's morning time, so we're getting the good old coffee ready. And just because I was feeling artsy, built a little camp stove enclosure. I did actually try raising the Trangia stove up, so I put the fire sticks, these metal rods, up to here, so it brought it right up. I thought that might help boil the water faster, or the risk of damaging a pot. So I was keeping an eye on it, and then I realized there wasn't enough airflow, so it actually kept blowing, kind of just self-extinguishing, so I brought it back down. So in the end, the shortcut wasn't particularly short. That's all right. Morning, Andrew. So we got our oats with raisins and walnut mixtures. Andrew's got a bit of maple syrup in his. How's that by the river, Andrew?
Good.
Pretty good?
Yeah.
Come back?
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff. Breakfast with a view. I thought you might like to know, because we've been wondering, to fuel that Trangia stove unit, I've been using methyl hydrate, which is essentially pure alcohol, and then they put a chemical or a poison in it to stop you drinking it as alcohol, but it makes a pretty decent fuel. And so I bought these to carry it in, and we've come to the conclusion, because now we've done two overnights, and one of these bowls, 300 mils of that, will essentially last you one day. And by that I mean we were able to cook the dinners and a breakfast. So we haven't been heating or cooking any lunches. Those have all been kind of on the go, cold foods, whatever they were. So that might give you an idea. So I've been getting enough to heat for 2 cups of coffee for me. We had a couple of hot chocolates one day for the boys, and then we had all of our dinners. So mine was reheating that kind of vegan chili rice thing. They both had macaroni and cheese, so the boiling water's for that. And kind of essentially this more or less same thing both days. So that gives you a pretty good idea. So I've used 2 full bottles of this now. So depending what you're doing, if you're just reheating stuff, I don't think you'd need quite as much. But if you're boiling water for stuff, then you might need a little more. But on average, one of those a day seems about good. And just like that, it's done. How'd you think of that one, Andrew?
It was good.
It was good?
Yeah.
Come back?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too. And we're doing the whole, hopefully, it's like we were never here. The leave no trace principle. All right, back to the car. Well, we made it back to the van. Thanks for coming along, and I hope you got a taste of the trail. If you ever choose to come out here, I think you'll really enjoy it. Have a great day, and good luck on wherever your journeys may take you. All the best.